These are the men from the banks of Clyde who fit the plates and drive the rivets that make the ships that everyone knows as Clyde built. These are the men who helped to make the battleship, the merchant ship, the big ships and the little ships of the mighty British Navy. And this is Charlie Brown, who has been a shipwright since quite a young man. In fact, you may say the job is hereditary in Charlie's family. Both his father and grandfather were shipwrights before him. Good morning, Charlie. I expect you're very busy, but perhaps you could spare a minute to tell us something about your job.
I'm a shipwright, and our job is the most important one in the yard. We are responsible for the launching and finishing it off after the freighters and rivers have done their job. When we start building a ship, we lay the keel blocks and the keel. Then the centre girder. After the flooring plates are in position, we are ready to fit the ribs or frame.
I suppose somebody else gets the ribs ready.
Yes, while the keel's being laid, these are being bent to shape in the rib bending shed.
Well, thank you, Charlie, for your explanation.
Pleasure's mine. Let everyone know that we're building ships that we're proud of. From our yard alone, there's 20 since the war started. Good morning.
The ribs are then fastened to the center girder of the keel, and the ship begins to assume a shape. The holes in the steel plates are punched out by a machine that treats 3/4 inch steel like a typist, punching holes in the office notepaper. It is not necessary to heat the plates when they have to be bent. Another machine bends them into any shape required. With the ribs in position, the skeleton ship is ready for a fresh lot of workers, the platers and riveters. Let's watch these men at work in a yard on the northeast coast of England. Good morning, George.
Good morning, Mr. Emmett.
I suppose this is rather a delicate job, fitting plates to the ribs.
Oh, yes. Much the most important job in shipbuilding. These plates are 3/4 inch steel, and sometimes they're 40 feet by 10 feet wide. And they've got to fit like a glove, hole over hole. Or else those steel spoilers, who call themselves riveters, couldn't get on with their job.
I see. What happens when the holes don't fit over one another?
It doesn't happen. They always fit. Sometimes those riveter blokes say they don't. But you know what they are. They're more celebrated for the brawn than for the brain. And we'll just go over to them and explain to them where they're wrong.
I suppose you're building a lot of ships these days.
In this yard, there are 6 slipways. We reckon to build 16 ships this year. And at present, we are launching a ship every 3 weeks. It takes about 4.5 months to complete the ship from the time the keel plate is laid.
Does that mean completed, ready for sea?
Yes, sir. Engines, guns and everything. You see, we're fitting guns to all the ships we're building now. We've got to give something to our fellas to defend themselves with.
Thank you, George. The ribs are soon getting covered with plates and the various decks laid down. Now we'll have a look at the job our friend George declares to be one calling for more brawn than brains. I'd like you to meet Arthur Rowland. He certainly possesses brawn, but he has some brains as well. Well, Arthur, how long have you been working at this sort of job?
Oh, my father was a riveter before me, and when I left school I told him I wanted a job in the yard. I then asked him which was the best job I could get. He told me, naturally, the general manager's job was the best job in the yard, but advised me not to apply for that job just yet. If you're lucky, you might get a job as an eater. I applied for the same, and I got a job like that lad over there.
And what did you do then?
After working at that job for 5 years, I was then made a riveter, and I have been riveting ever since.
You earn more money now?
Oh, yes. The job is better paid now, and besides, this work is on piece rates, and I am much more expert now and work quicker, especially in wartime, when we put in 700 rivets per day instead of the 400 in peacetime.
You like your job?
Eh? Shut up, I can't hear myself speak. What were you saying now, Mr. Emmett?
Do you like your job?
Not too bad. It's the most important job in the yard, because it's those fellas that put strength into the ship. Platers will tell you this job calls only for brute strength. They don't tell you what we do when their plates don't fit.
Ah, they certainly don't. What do you do?
We've got a machine that takes bits off like cutting through cheese.
You're known as the Black Squad of the Boilermakers Union, aren't you?
We are. But believe me, we are white when trouble comes along. And at present, we are working like the very devil to beat our common enemy.
Thank you, Arthur. In less than a month from the time the keel plate was laid, the hull is ready for launching. Then comes the launch. Northern Ireland, Scotland, all round the coasts of England and Wales, men of the shipyards are now working day and night in an intensive war effort. It was the work of men such as these that defeated the Spanish Armada. It was their work that shattered Napoleon's dreams of world conquest. Their work will bring back the world again to sanity. After the launch, the hull is taken to the fitting out basin, where shipwrights take charge and complete the fittings. Engineers put in the engines. Carpenters erect the woodwork. Welders, asbestos workers, painters, many other craftsmen do their bit. Paravanes are fitted to protect the ship against mines, and guns against submarines and aircraft. 18 weeks after the keel plate was laid down, the ship is ready to leave the yard and proceed downriver to the open sea. These are the men with the craftsmanship of 1,000 years behind them, that from baulks of timber and slabs of steel have given the shape from mast to keel of an ocean-going vessel. This is the ship the builders made, built and fitted for sailormen who are carrying on the great tradition of Britain's fleet, sailors, too, of the steadfast crews of Britain's merchant navy. May all good luck attend her.